Hey, I'm Rachel, and this is Winona. And together we've been traveling the last 6 months full time across the country, touring the national parks. So it's been really spectacular so far. We started in New York, but then went through the Great Smokies. So got to see the old growth forest and really feel connected to nature in that way before moving to Nashville, checking out the honky tonks there, heading through Indiana to Chicago where I was visiting some friends, and then taking into South Dakota after checking out Cream City, USA, Milwaukee. Can't forget that. Before checking out Badlands and getting to witness the meteor showers in August and under the dark sky, which was really incredible. And then taking it to the west side of South Dakota, so getting to witness some more of the Great Plains and just these meadows filled with wildflowers. It was so wonderful to see summer in that location. And then from there, going to the Grand Tetons and getting to interact with the wildlife. So the wild horses, the bison herds, moose. Saw a moose for the first time. Pika. It seems like it can't even be a real animal. It's so cute. And then headed north to Yellowstone, which I checked out with my brother, and that was really wonderful to experience together. And then together we drove to the Blackfeet Reservation, which is where I stayed when I was checking out Glacier National Park. And then through Idaho, Coeur d'Alene specifically, staying there for a couple days. And then through Washington, which is where I'm currently. And I've been checking out a couple of the national parks and Leavenworth, German themed town. Very fun. Such a tourist trap. As a tourist, I enjoyed being trapped there. And some scenic hot springs, which was a really cool experience before hitting up Olympic, which I visited with a friend, and Seattle, Tacoma, North Cascades. Have stayed there. So it's been such a fun time. So you're seeing the exterior of Winona. She's a 1976 travel trailer. Kind of kismet. I saw her on Facebook Marketplace, happened to be visiting a friend in San Francisco, which is where she was set up, and then saw her in person, fell in love, purchased her, had her towed cross country to New York, which is where I ended up doing some restoration on her, work on her, partially myself, partially with mechanics for structural and electrical work. But I will say that I was the one who painted the exterior, so I did the stripping, sanding, and repainting. So feeling pretty proud of that. And she's looking much, much better. So let me show you the inside of Winona, which is the best part about it, really. I really love it in here. It's super homey and there's so much to talk about. So let's start in the kitchen, which is what attracted me to Winona in the first place. And the reason why I ended up buying her is because in the 5 or 6 months I was looking on Facebook Marketplace for a travel trailer, I didn't see any with her layout where there's wraparound counters, wraparound windows, and cupboards up at the front, which lets in a ton of light. So she has quite a few windows, and it's really bright in here when it's sunny out. And when it's rainy, I get to see it from all angles, so it's really nice. But yeah, as you can see, big counters, lots of space, and then lot of cupboard storage, which is really nice because it makes me feel more inclined to cook. Because I kind of dread cooking. Dishes make cooking not worth it for me sometimes. So I've definitely been getting a lot of cooking done, which is nice. And then the cupboards are super cool. So essentially they stay locked until you press the button in the center and then they open right up. So this is pantry goods. This has my matching pink Tupperware set, which I found in an estate sale, which is fun. There's kind of miscellaneous paper towels, candles, stuff like that. And then over here we've got the matching hood, stovetop, and oven. And so they all work, which is great. I tried redoing the stovetop. Didn't really last as well as I would have liked, but super functional. Yeah, and it's great. And so it lets in even more light. The window guard is down right now for privacy reasons, but when it's open, you get these bright hues, depending on where I'm parked, and some really great lighting. And so over here, we've got the entryway, so you can kind of get a sneak peek of where I'm staying at the moment. And then if I move you a little bit, so when you over this way, you can see even more. So over here is my art wall, which is a recent addition to Winona, and I'm very excited about it. So I haven't had a lot of art hanging in general, but with it being fall time season, which is my favorite season of the year, decided to whip out some things. So that's been nice coming and seeing that every time I enter and leave. And then here we've got the fridge, and so up top we've got my little art wall, and here we've got a national park scratch-off poster that a friend gave me, which is really fun. And so this fridge this fridge has been a journey. It's been trials and tribulations. So she's the original fridge from Winona. So she's 1976, so turning 50 next year. Love her. And so I was really insistent. I did not want to replace the fridge. A lot of people were telling me to do so because I was having trouble getting it to food safe temperature. And so it took me a couple of weeks to figure out what was going on, but essentially you have to be super precise when you're leveling front to back and side to side, which is something that they caution you to do anyway in all the user manuals and, like, you know, towing tips. Anyone will tell you that you need to get it level. And so when I heard that, I thought, oh, it would break if I didn't have it level. But my external levels were not truly, they weren't correct. So after fixing them and noticing some patterns, I finally realized that's what was causing it, because essentially if it's unlevel one way, it'll cause the back of the fridge to ice over, and the other, the fridge won't work at all. So I'm really glad I stuck to my guns. That exercise in stubbornness, patience, paid off. So I'm really pleased about that. So turning you around, this is the dinette area. So as you can see at the very edge, here's the kitchen. It's a tight space, but it works and it's super livable in here. She's only 22.5 feet, so it's nice that there is kind of a sense that you can move around a little bit. And so over here, what do we have? We've got my nail supplies in here. Yeah, I've got kind of a lot of nail supplies, and I've been making some sets on the road, and it's been a lot of fun whenever I have, you know, electric hookups, and I recently got a generator, so now I can do that whenever I'd like. And then over here, we've got some more craft supplies, just art supplies generally, a couple of board games, and so that's great. And then window curtains that I sewed and I found the fabric for. This garland, this is a recent fall time edition, which also has some artwork pinned to that as well. And then you can see the dinette cushion. These dinette cushions are original to Winona. I took them out, I ripped them open, took out all the stuffing inside, sewed in some zippers, had them washed, and then refilled. So was able to preserve some of her original history, and that's really what I wanted to do. I just wanted to restore Winona to her former glory. I didn't want to gut her. I really enjoy vintage things, so I'm glad I was able to preserve her dignity in that way. And so the pillows, a couple of them I made. One of them is from the person I purchased from, and another one is thrifted. So that's kind of the setup here. The dinette table is also nice because you can pull it out to give people more space when they're sitting over there. So it's nice that it slides in and out, and otherwise you've got some more walking space. Let me show you the flooring real quick. So let me turn the camera around. So that's the floor, not the original one. A couple months after buying Winona, I did get into a bit of a tussle with a metal handicap parking pole, and yeah, that did a lot of damage. That was a little bit devastating, not gonna lie. So I hit it right where the electrical control panel is, which is beneath the dinette cushion. So inches from hitting the battery. Thank God I didn't. I'm sure that would have caused a fire. But it was the reason I got put in contact with mechanics I used to fix up all of Winona. She had some other structural issues in the front and the back with the framing, and they did such wonderful work. So shout out to RVMDs. Phil and Melissa is a great team, and I so appreciate their help. But essentially what was going on is there was floor rot by the entryway door, which is common in trailers, and then with it being structurally impacted on the opposite side, I thought the strongest way to rebuild the floor was just to go straight across. So I found this flooring and replaced it, and I think it works well in the space. So that's kind of the setup in the kitchen living room area. Although there's one last thing that you kind of got a peek of anyway, but I'll show you again. So over here, we've got my manifestation vision board, and also these shutters, which, okay, the shutters I love because it really makes the bedroom into a more defined area, because it can enclose completely. So it's got this end thing. So it's shut off, which is really nice for privacy purposes when I'm getting changed, but also, you know, to feel like a separate space. But I love opening these up in the morning and just getting a peek from my bed into the kitchen. It's so charming. It's so quaint. It's nice being in a small space. I'm someone who enjoys a small space. I used to like hanging out in my closet when I was younger, which saying that out loud sounds super crazy, and also no wonder I'm gay. But anyway, so let me show you the the bedroom now, and yeah, give you a little tour of that. Over here is the bedroom, so welcome. You can see that I've got two beds in here, but Winona actually has quite a lot of sleeping space. So this bed, which folds down and can sleep two, this bed, which can sleep a person, up top, this cabinet actually comes down. You could put a mattress up there and have someone else, and then the dinette table folds down and you can sleep two over there. So up to six people, sardines in a tin can. Like, no way. I have had people to stay and it's worked out surprisingly well. So it can be comfortable for two people. I prefer being in here alone. There's just, not a ton of wiggle room. And so it's a lot of maneuvering when there are two people in a space, but it's doable. So as I mentioned, this folds down and I actually built the bedroom for it myself, which is quite an accomplishment. And then, yeah, you can see. So it slides down. It's a full-size futon. So it's nice, it's cozy. I definitely didn't want to spend all this time sleeping on a twin bed. So that was kind of X-nay on that. And that was a priority for me. And then, yeah, just cozy book nook situation over here. So it's really nice to curl up with a good book, which I have all my books up top in here, which I'm pleased about. So turning you around a little bit, over here I have a little half closet, which is nice as, additional storage. Again, lots of storage in Winona, which is really fabulous. And over here, I've got my earrings, which are really exciting. So essentially one of the things I've been collecting on the road, there's a couple. The first one is jewelry. So earrings, necklaces, I've got some bracelets that I found. I just think that's really fun to try and find at thrift stores or boutiques. So that's something I've been collecting. So another one is that I envisioned at the outset having a denim jacket covered with patches that I'd found anywhere and everywhere on my travels. And so I didn't have a denim jacket. And I've been collecting patches anyway, knowing that I'd find one eventually. I'd manifest at the thrift. So I did recently find it. I haven't ironed on the patches yet, but I'm really excited. So that's in process. And the last one is the art that you've seen a little bit on my art walls, I guess. And so those are the three big ones. So you can kind of get a little sampling here. That's really fun. And then I've got the original manufacturer's warranty, some heavier duty jackets, kind of a catch-all bin over here. So that's kind of the storage setup. I recently redid how I was organizing my jewelry thanks to a gift from a friend. And so the last spot is the bathroom. So we're gonna wiggle our way into it and flipping the camera around. So up top is where I keep my skincare and makeup. And then that light is actually an original and it still works. And so this lets in a ton of light, but it's got a privacy film so you can't see through, which is perfect for the bathroom. We've got the sink and some storage underneath. And then we've got a waste paper, or we've got a basket, which is where I keep my cleaning supplies, toilet. And then over here is my shower and tub combo. Tub combo is actually something that I was really looking for. There was no reason. There's no reason for it. Because honestly, I have not used the tub once, and I pretty rarely shower in here. It's just a lot of water to use and then to store, so instead I tend to use campground showers or gyms or public parks, or I should say public pools. So it's nice to have in case I'm not close to any of those, but it does rarely get used. And so the last feature, which is also such a stellar one of Winona, is just this closet. So it's also the only full-size mirror in the entire joint. So it's nice that I have one. But what's behind it is even better. I am so thankful to have such a closet that's so large because I didn't really downsize my closet much at all, and figured, since I love thrifting so much, that I would pick up a couple more things on the road. I definitely have. So that's Winona. I'm such a big fan of her. Hopefully you are too. But it's been really great living in here and decorating. It's just been so fun and such a cozy living environment. I think the best one I've ever had. So I'm really pleased about it. I'm really in love with her. And we're heading further south tomorrow. So around the Portland area is where I'll be for the next couple days. And then trucking it further south down the west coast to escape the cold winter weather. So yeah, it should be fun. And if you're interested in tagging along, come join.